Alright, so I'm just going to do a quick overview of how I am making these things. I do want to remind you that I can offer kits with all the parts or some of the parts for a heavily discounted price, so that I don't have to do the extra work required to put this all together, and you can figure that out. So here's the completed unit, at least in the current state I have it. So what we got here is it's being powered by a Raspberry Pi, standard B model. This one is. The A or the B plus will work fine. B plus will have a different connector though, so you need to figure that out yourself. Really, I'm not using any of the other components on the Raspberry Pi, but there is a possibility of adding to it, as I showed in my first video. What we are using is the micro SD card. I have an 8 gig card in there. It's holding the operating system, my custom software to run everything, and right now that has the video files, but I will move the video files to a USB drive, so it's easy to just unplug the drive, plug it into your computer, load your own files, modify the files and the configuration, plug it right in, restart the Pi, and it will run your new video. So Raspberry Pi, we have these cables that are made for the Raspberry Pi. You can find those online. Connected to the end of the cable is a display board here. It's actually two separate boards, two separate parts. We have a custom board that interfaces between the cable and the display, and then the display itself. I can give a link to the display where I got that one from, but the board I created myself. So separate parts here. So this is just the custom boards. Here's the one that's unsoldered. You'll see it has well, it's not focusing, but my little CZY boards, CZTVs, and here's one with the plug on it, and then this gets soldered to the display, which I don't have any spare displays around to show, but it's simple enough. And then the TV itself, it's this Beverly Hillbilly version. There was a Twilight Zone version of this Hallmark Christmas ornament. However, those are extremely expensive. The only difference is the plastic piece in here, and I believe the trim is black instead of silver, but I don't think that really makes much of a difference. You'll never really notice. You just rip the back off here, and the hard part is in order to fit these displays, you'll see the display doesn't exactly fit in here. It's a good deal too big, and you can't really slim down the board. It's as big as the display, so it needs to be gutted out and completely shaved down really thin. And one of the problems we ran into is getting too thin and getting through to the plastic pieces on the front, which were re-glued so that they are solid. So it's super thin and solid. Same with this piece on the right. We needed to make a custom piece where the speaker panel is at, so that it's super flat, yet it still looks the same with the mesh speaker and a black background. And so there it is. The next step, last step, is putting the back on so it doesn't look like a gaping hole if you just look behind it, and making a slot for a cable, and then the mounting bracket, which for the Twilight Zone there will be a screw mounting point on the top, probably offset a little bit, with a bracket that gets screwed onto the backboard, so it just hangs right off the backboard here. And that's it.